there is no wrong decision. I think a lot of us we can really feel a lot of overwhelming energy sometimes in our lives, and depending on the experience, depending on the person, we could almost feel most of our life is overwhelming, or if if some people are privileged enough, they may not feel overwhelming energy very often. For many people, though, we'll feel quite a lot of overwhelming energy a lot of our time in this life experience. And for many of us, it will definitely help to override this kind of feeling of anxiety, or this kind of overwhelming feeling. We can generally get rid of a lot of it by implementing a few techniques, and I will try and explain some of these techniques now. So the first massive technique that we can implement to get rid of this overwhelming feeling within us is that, firstly and most importantly, there is no bad decisions. I think we reflect this kind of anxiety, this this feeling of anxiousness. We ultimately put it out. We're a vibration, and if we're vibrating at a frequency of almost, it's not necessarily regret, but it can be a feeling of, there could be a lot of different vibrations that we're putting out into this world: regret, remorse, sorrow. And ultimately, we're putting this out because we can be scarred, especially as we're coming into this world, depending on our, whatever you want to call it, like our source code, or our frequency that we enter into this world, effectively is a program to some degree. It's a predetermined outcome, and as we live out our life experience, as we manifest into who we are as individuals throughout our life, we will ultimately become this predetermined value. And when we are living that frequency, we ultimately put out into this world what we attract back. That's how this reality works: is what we put out, we get back. We're effectively a magnet, and we attract the frequency that we vibrate at. So the truth being is that we will naturally attract what we're putting out. So if we're putting out almost sorrow, anxiety, anxiety is not what we're putting out. We are we are what our society calls, or says, but what is anxiety? Anxiety is almost just a frequency which is almost a reflection of insecurity, as well as you could almost say, like, anxiety is a mixture of insecurity, fear, stress, worry, and it could also be, other emotions such as anger. And this kind of accumulation of thought produces anxiety. It's almost like anxiety is the result of a state of being which is out of balance. Now, with that said, is like, what can we actually do to move forward out of this kind of worried state of mind, which could be stressed. It could be a lot of things, you know. It could be insecure. It's ultimately a being, an essence, a frequency, which is, it's not in harmony with itself, which is then causing this kind of state of being, this state of mind, which is it's not in harmony with itself. So what can we do to implement techniques or strategies to come back into harmony with oneself? Well, one thing that we can definitely implement is being grateful for who we are in this moment. And that's not an easy technique, and ultimately it's underrated, because a lot of us, we can't find gratitude very easily. However, there is something to be very, very grateful for, and it's understanding basic truth within our life, ourselves, our existence. Now, we holistically, if we have come into this reality and we're ultimately living our life at almost a predetermined outcome, and we're ultimately going about our lives, potentially living our lives as if we are making choices, I feel that all we can truly do within this lifetime is be grateful for the choices which we're making. Because if we are potentially just a part of a play, and the choices which we're making is almost our predetermined reality unfolding, one thing that we truly only have power of is the ability to be grateful for what is unfolding in our life. And it's pretty messed up, because a lot of us struggle to come to terms with accepting what has happened or what is happening within our life, because it can be unpleasant. But this is where the true power kicks in, is because if we can become present and become grateful for no matter what experience has or is occurring or will occur in our life, as long as we can be grateful for whatever is, or will occur in our life, we simply become the most powerful version of ourselves possible, and we become simply unstoppable for nothing. If we can truly accept and come to terms with this, and it's not just come to terms, but also become grateful for whatever currently is or will happen in our lives. If we can truly be grateful for all possibilities to arise, we become simply unstoppable, purely because it doesn't matter what occurs in our life. It doesn't matter what has occurred or will occur. As long as we can really stay attuned to be grateful for whatever's meant to be, we simply step back. We step back actually in control of our lives, because we're controlling potentially the only thing that we truly have control of, which is our perception. Because we don't know, we don't know how much we actually do have influence on our lives, because our minds are basically creating our reality. So we could say if we have true power over our minds, we should have true power over our reality. Now, potentially we do, potentially we don't. Potentially we're just an algorithm that is unfolding, a program which is where the script is naturally unfolding. And although we believe we do have choice, the choices which we're making is effectively just the program unfolding. Now, the beauty of life is to live life, to experience life, and not to believe that we're missing out or we're making the wrong decisions, or, you know. So the true power is literally just being able to be the alchemist no matter what happens in our life. The true power is to simply be present with what will happen, is happening, or has happened. It's about being present and being accepting and flowing with life and being grateful for whatever we experience, whatever heartache, whatever hardship, whatever, potentially trauma. From the full scale is that we have to be accepting for whatever life is going to create for us. And that's the thing, is that this is where a lot of people struggle, is that they get stuck in this pity state of mind where we pity ourselves, we pity what has happened to us. And this frequency is basically just this is what we're choosing. Because we may not have and this is where we really got to get out over ourselves to truly move forward, is that we have accepted our reality before we've entered this reality. Consciously, we have identified and accepted the reality for what our life will unfold. And if it's a bit out there, but like, the only way we can truly move forward within our lives is to accept that we have accepted our reality. We have accepted our life forecast. And there is no coincidences. We don't just happen to experience this. We've been very aware before coming into this reality what's going to occur and what's going to manifest. And then as we come into this reality unaware, we are remembering and relearning why we've actually come to this reality and what we need to endure and what we need to experience to ultimately realign back with whatever is. And it's interesting, because when we can start to open our minds to truly why, if what I am saying does happen to be true, what's going on? Why are we experiencing this reality? And if there is no coincidences, what's truly going on in this reality that I need to accept, to come into align with, and to overcome, to remember why I've actually chosen to accept to come into this reality? What do I need to remind myself? What do I need to remember? What do I need to activate? What do I need to become aligned with to truly understand the purpose of this reality? And it's a difficult thing to do, because a lot of us, we will ultimately spend our lifetime chasing this feeling, this, and questioning and continuing to make decisions to come closer to this. And the truth is, all we can really do is to be aware that it's how we come closer to this is being the alchemist within our thoughts, is to be grateful. Because the more we become grateful, the more we become closer to this the frequency of ultimately divinity and whatever you want to refer it to, love, divine love, divinity, unconditional love, unconditional acceptance, gratitude, these frequencies, which are very much high vibrating frequencies. When we come closer to these frequencies and attune to them, we do raise our perception, our awareness greater than this reality which we're living in. We're still living in this reality, but we're connecting to frequency that is beyond this reality. This is how we truly activate and come closer to understanding the bigger picture of our existence. It's all fun and games. Don't take this too seriously, although it may need to be taken seriously. Everyone's unique. Everyone's on their different pathway to possibility, and ciao.